Hi, my name is Michelle Cox. This is my Module 8, Legal Aspects of Teacher Evaluation. In the first article on called Evaluation, some key points that stood out to me is the Every Student Succeeds Act has ended the federal government's involvement in prescribing and influencing teacher evaluation systems across the nation. So that is a new change that has occurred, which is affecting our evaluation process. Some provisions that have occurred is it requires states to develop their own goals, long-term, short-term, interim goals, and to look at a broad range of factors to gauge school performance. They're trying to get away from not just using test scores because they're saying that that was an invalid way of evaluating teachers. NEA's Teacher Evaluation and Accountability Toolkit is a guide to help create evaluation systems. It contains many contract language examples and guiding principles to consider when implementing or modifying an evaluation system. Some key points to consider include the association may be able to negotiate many aspects of the evaluation system, such as the measures to be assessed, observation procedures, and tools forms associated with the evaluation or accountability system. Teacher evaluation systems should be developed in partnership with the teachers to ensure teacher buy-in. So they want the evaluations to be meaningful and to provide clear and actionable feedback to teachers so that they can improve and so that it helps them tailor their professional development. There is growing evidence that using student test scores to determine teacher effectiveness is misguided and does not improve instructional practice. New or modified evaluation systems should be piloted before the high-stakes personnel decisions are tied to any evaluation system. Lastly, this article talked about improvement plans and due process rights should be considered when developing an evaluation plan. The second article, Education Week Teacher Evaluation Heads to Court. The American Federation of Teachers and the National Education Association have been busy filing lawsuits challenging aspects of the system in both federal and state courts. This article was basically just making us aware of the different lawsuits that are in place due to teacher evaluations. The union strategies are hinging on both procedural and substantial complaints. Some of the lawsuits included in the following arguments were: the evaluation system does not take into account poverty. The evaluation system focuses too much on student test scores. There was lawsuits for tying teacher evaluation to tenure and pay scales. They're saying that it violates constitutional provisions. Teachers are being fired due to flawed or incomplete data in their evaluations, so they take it to court. A state education department impermissibly imposed its new evaluation system, overriding a law giving school districts control over teacher evaluation. So they're saying the districts need to have control over the evaluation. And lastly, another lawsuit is that teachers are being evaluated on school-wide growth measures in non-tested subjects like art and music. So they're getting evaluated for things that they didn't even actually have a part of. Article 3 of Education Week, the Teacher Evaluation and Issue Overview, it basically went into talking about old evaluations and that teacher evaluation systems relied heavily on classroom observations conducted by principals, sometimes with the help of rubrics or checklists. Samples of student work, teacher records, lesson plans, and other relevant factors were also often taken into account. The problem that they have seen with the old evaluations that top performing teachers, or just in general, a problem that we have is that top performing teachers help students gain more than a grade's worth of learning. Students taught by the worst achieve, they only gain a half of a year of learning. So this tells you that evaluations are very important in helping our students become better or to achieve better goals. The problem continued. Advocacy groups argued that current quality control systems for teachers were ineffectual. A report found that more than 99% of teachers in 12 districts it studied were ranked satisfactory on evaluations, and that the firing of tenured teachers almost never occurred. So it's just saying that everybody evaluated seemed to be seemed to be satisfactory, which probably wasn't true. New evaluations. The new evaluation systems are far more complex. They consist of several components, each scored individually. Most of them heavily weigh periodic observations of teachers keyed to teaching standards. They're using the framework often by Charlotte Danielson. The evaluations are far more objective, and they do include student test scores still, but it's trying to be more objective and not weigh so heavily on the student test scores. How teacher unions have responded. Teacher unions highlighted the potential of better evaluations to provide value feedback on teacher skills, but they still remain wary about connecting the systems to teacher pay and tenure. They oppose the inclusion of student standardized test scores in the systems. What our district does, I work for an educational cooperative because I'm a special ed teacher, so my process is different from the district's evaluation process. My co-op, they use an evaluation system called the McCrail online system. It has the following components. We have a pre-observation, an observation, an artifact library where we have to put 3 artifacts in every year. We have a goal-setting process in it, a professional development piece, and a post-observation piece. Within the observation component, it has 5 standards that the teacher is rated on. These 5 standards are: teacher demonstrates leadership, teachers establish a respectful environment for diverse population of students, teachers know the content they teach, teachers facilitate learning for their students, and then teachers reflect on their practices. Then within these 5 components, they are broken down into specific key skills that should be implemented into our daily teaching. The teacher is assessed by earning check marks under each 5 different categories, which you can get multiple check marks. The categories include developing, proficient, accomplished, and distinguished. There's also a comment section that the evaluator can put if they didn't see something during the assessment or if they wanted to provide you more feedback. The recourse for evaluations. What recourse does a teacher have regarding teacher evaluations within our cooperative? What can a teacher do if we feel our evaluations are inaccurate? They have a post-observation section where we have to sign the evaluation to kind of show that we agree with the ratings. Usually our supervisor comes in and goes over the evaluation with us. We also can comment on our evaluation and put comments in the comment section. We can also ask to meet with our supervisor if we do not agree with the results of the evaluation to come to a common agreement, or maybe not. What can a teacher do if they feel they are unjustly being let go? If a teacher is feeling unjustly let go, they can file a complaint. If they're a member of KNEA, they can call the union for assistance. In extreme instances, they could even take it to court. That is... Okay, last slide. Legal case, Cook versus Bennett. This was a lawsuit that was filed April 16th, 2013. The violations is that affiliates of the Florida Education Association filed this lawsuit in federal court alleging that teachers and subjects without statewide standardized tests are being judged unfairly on the progress of students they don't teach or in subjects they don't teach via a school-wide growth formula. So basically, they're getting evaluated on a school-wide system and they don't agree with it. So they took it to court and it was completed, and a federal court judge ruled for the state in May 2014. And the U.S. Court of Appeals affirmed that ruling in July 2015, the Florida Education Association will not appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. And that is evaluations in a nutshell and all of the legal aspects that go along with it. That seems somewhat intense. So as a principal, reflection, we need to make sure that we are doing our research. We need to take time to ask the right questions to the right people. As a future principal, I would really do a lot of research. I would ask knowledgeable questions to the people that know a lot about our evaluation tool. And then I would do my best, if the tool follows regulations, I would use that tool in a consistent and proactive manner, and I would try to use it with fidelity in the most objective way possible. Thanks.